Hello and welcome to Under the Covers podcast. Conversations about love, sex, and relationship. I'm your host, Lauren Blundell, and today I have a special guest with me, Ryan Barraclough.
Barraclough.
Barraclough. Should have probably practiced that. So Ryan's my friend, my yoga teacher, a men's empowerment coach, and all-round good human doing great things in the world. So welcome, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
It's very exciting. My first official podcast.
Official? What was the unofficial?
Oh, we filmed it, but won't upload.
Okay, I'm glad I'm the official one then.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess firstly, do you want to intro yourself again and tell us what you do in a bit more detail?
Yes, happily. I'll do it in response to love relating and what was the other one? Sex.
Sex.
Yeah, sex, love, and relating. I'll do an intro into that. I mean, my background, essentially a white privileged male living in this world, but ended up being miserable. Was pursuing, trying to be an athlete at a high level. I think I had dreams of being an Olympian, but I also think they were just a disguise to distract me from my misery.
Okay. Yes. What kind of Olympian?
Rowing.
Yeah, okay.
And my whole identity was built around that. I was ticking all the boxes, doing all the right things, and my mate killed himself, and it capitulated that big house of cards underneath what I thought was me.
Okay.
And from that, I've been like the whole time. I mean, when it comes to sex, love, and relating, like I just had no education. Just, two things I got was, maybe it's two things. You're a Barraclough, you'll be fine. So I had this false sense of bravado, right? Fuck.
I'm a god.
Yeah.
Instant.
my brother's like a beautiful looking dude. So I'm watching this, I'm like, oh god, this is stressful. Like,
the pressure.
All around the pressure. I want to fit in with my bro. I want to impress him. Like, it wasn't from him. It was just all stories in my head.
Yeah.
The best way to get over someone is to get onto someone else.
Yes,
yeah.
I've heard that. The age-old saying.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Oh, make sure you wear a rubber raincoat when you're playing in the wet.
Okay, wow, good sex ed.
Yeah. Oh, and sort of this one came later, but there's two types of men in the world, right? There's ones who masturbate and ones who lie. That holds the most truth, I guess. But
yeah.
I had no education in it. I don't remember the banana condom demonstration. I don't remember ever anyone sitting me down and saying, like, you're gonna probably want to start to do this incredible thing with women. My first, when I was very young, and I first found my dick when I was in bed. I was young and I was like, whoa, this feels great. Probably like my first conscious hard on and playing with myself.
Yeah.
My brother walked in and just caught me and just like heckled the shit out of me.
Yeah, humiliation.
Yeah, totally. So that like shamed, and then not till 15 had a horrible first sexual experience. That just left me traumatized.
What made it horrible?
Lack of education, lack of communication, lack of direction, lack of any sense of knowledge, people getting hurt, people getting teased.
Yeah.
Just
P and V.
Yeah.
Not functional.
Yeah, did not. So just, it wasn't. Logistical nightmare. Yeah. Emotional train wreck.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I just progressed on to, then I promised to God, I said, God, I'm not religious, but I was right there. Oh my God, I promise I won't have sex again until I'm married.
I think you told me this before. Oh, yeah.
It lasted 2 years.
2 years is good.
Yeah, I was fucking petrified. Being my like girlfriend, and all the time, like, and because I had this like sportsy jock image, I'd have like hot girlfriends or cool girlfriends, and if I want to do stuff, I'd be like, don't touch me. Or, like,
saving myself.
I just make excuses. I didn't even have the balls to like own up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. And so it just was this spiraling. Like my first blowjob, I came in like the second flat, and I was just fucking. Then I was like mortally embarrassed about that. And then when I finally had sex again, it was like this fumbling, bumbling, like pretending to not find a condom to buy time, because I wasn't masturbating either, because I didn't really have any education into that. So I didn't. Like it was just a fucking hot mess. Yeah, a hot mess. And and then that went on, and I started locking into long-term relationships when I was really young. And after 6 months, I would know that I didn't want to be with this person, but I was there for like comfort, because the world felt scary. I was there for like the people were beautiful and I loved the people, but it wasn't where I wanted to be.
Mm.
And I was just trying to avoid having to face
Mm.
like the reality of, fuck, I had no idea what I was doing.
Mhm.
I didn't feel like I had anyone to talk to about it. Didn't feel like there was any real space for me to not know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And all the pressures of being, you know, put into a box of being a man, and then apparently I want to fuck everything. So every just compiling, and then I went to, yeah, and that was like, there's like, this is just that one line of the story, and that all capitulated and broke up with my girlfriend, and my friend killed himself, kind of started going in, went up to Byron, had like and I was just training. Like my way of dealing with it was long-term numbing. So I just trained. So I got up to like 5-6 hours training a day.
Yeah.
And I'd work on top of that, like just 18-hour days.
Shutting it out.
Oh, fuck, everything. Like just, OCD about everything. Organics, about recovery, about fucking whatever I could find to distract myself, I do.
Yeah.
And I eventually, and I got like along the way, I was super sick, like being in and out of hospital. Adrenal fatigues, no, it doesn't exist, but whatever. In and out of hospital with mystery illnesses, like just my body broke, energy system broke, and then finally when my mind went, that's when I reached out and got help. And I guess in relation, like the pivotal point was when I quit rowing. Actually, it was after a threesome. That was like the pivotal thing that took me over the edge.
Okay, tell me more.
I had my first holiday in like 2 years from rowing. From rowing training, because I was just like, I wasn't being successful, obviously, because my heart wasn't there. I was just ticking boxes.
Yeah.
And then I'd been in bed for 3 days after I found out I had glands. Like I got out of bed and like I was like, fuck, I better go. Like I need some food. Went to the cafe. Went down to Aura. And this lady was in there. Long story. I met this girl, and I'm like, yeah, I'm coming to Byron. She was from Byron. She was pretty hot. And I went up to Byron, and we met up. We hit it off. Had like I think I was there for like 10 days. Like a 10-day love, sex, and drugs bender. And she was fucking crazy. Like this girl's amazing. Like like wild, right?
Yeah.
And
great medicine.
Yeah, and super. And she was a lesbian before this, so she was open. So I was kind of having like my eyes open to a lot of things and like exploring. Like, am I like completely straight? Am I? And having because all this was being put in front of me, this beautiful person, this beautiful form, and so really starting to rock my world. You know, getting exposed to a lot more stuff. And then she's like, and so we fell romantically, and I'll say lust now. At the time, it was fucking love, man.
Yeah, it was deep. Love. It was forever.
I didn't care that she was suicidal. It was love. Antipsychotic pills, that's cool. It's love. Like, every red flag I saw was like a love heart.
Yeah.
That red flag's the shape of a love heart. Amazing.
But she's perfect for me.
Yeah, and she was. She rocked. She completely changed my ability to perceive in a lot of ways and own a lot of experiences growing up, like that I'd shut down and shunned, being all boys school, all these things. Just like, you know, oh man, the inability for men to like have love for one another in that brotherhood manner is so shut down. It's like, that's gay. It's like, it's ridiculous. How can I not love another version of myself? That doesn't mean intimately, but on any level, I feel it's very squished in society, and it comes out in that weird, fucking mates, like, and ripping on each other. It's like, no one feels safe when that's happening. No one wants to show up and be themselves.
Yes.
And she ended up getting me back to the great story.
Yeah.
She got me, she's like, I'm going to get you a threesome for your birthday. And I was like, that would be amazing, thank you. So she came down to Sydney for my birthday. She lived in Byron, came down to Sydney. Everyone was like, Ryan, what the fuck are you doing? This person is off the charts. Like, it was crazy. And then the end of the night, she's like, you ready to go? And I'm like, yeah. And like, she coming with us? I'm like, yep. And we had this insane threesome. There was clothes all over the living room. I don't know if we even shut the front door. Drake was playing. It was it was
oh
crazy,
my god.
Man. And I just like there's like a sadness, like, you know, I woke up, that whole more is better story in society. Well, surely 2 women must be better than one.
Yep.
Wasn't the case. I still woke up mortal. Like, I was expecting to wake up like a demigod. Be like, like, no, you know, I just woke up with like a horrendous hangover. And like, oh fuck, I gotta go see my family for birthday lunch. My poor brother gets up, he's like, picks his shoe, he's like, who the fuck put Jim Beam in my shoe? Like, it was just like hilarious. And I couldn't stop laughing at it. It kind of blew my mind, like, whoa, all this fun stuff is out there, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All this fun stuff is out there, and then I'm rowing 20 Ks every morning, doing the same thing over and over again. And I remember, like, 2 days after it, I'm at the top where we rode to. And I can't stop laughing, and I just couldn't stop laughing for like weeks. And my coach is like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Man, I had a threesome on the weekend, and I just can't like stop laughing." It's just like it was so fun, and like we laughed, and then I rode home. And then my coach went away. He was coaching somewhere else, and I was rowing by myself, and I was just rowing along. And then I remember like voice of reason so clearly going in my head, like, do you really want to channel all of your potential into this one tiny thing? And I was like, silence. I can't stop rowing. And I was like, no.
Mm.
Fuck. So I paddled in, and I never took the boat out again.
Wow. There you go.
Can't have power of threesome.
I know, right? And that was like one of the questions that I wrote down as I was coming here, Chrissy. I was like, I want to ask you about threesomes because every guy, well, okay, I think every woman thinks that it's every man's fantasy to have a threesome. And I guess I wanted you to shed some light on, from a man's point of view, having a threesome with two women, like what was it like? And yeah, like would you do it again? I guess, does it feed into, I guess, is the post as good as what the pre is? Like, is the fantasy, is it really fulfilled?
Like during it, there was that surreal moment of I'm doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess actually I question like whose story is it? Because I totally believed it. But like whose story? Did I come up with that story? I don't think I did.
No.
I don't.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's because I've had more more enjoyable, fulfilling sexual experiences with one partner. Person. I've had it with no sex. Yeah. Just like holding and that melting into the space, or that container dissolving between my skin and theirs with like minimal touch, minimal contact, but being very close and intimate. Yeah. So would I do it again? Fuck yeah, like of course. Like, okay, good. Is it the number one thing on my priority? No. Is it something that I'm wanting when I'm with my partner? No. Yeah. Normally when that stuff comes up for me, I'm like, okay, what's really going on here? Like, what need isn't being met, and how can I talk about that with my partner? And normally it's just like for me, it's a cut and run. Like, how do I get more distance? How do I kind of ignore something I don't want to feel in myself and project it onto my relationship?
Interesting. So, what's your view on polyamory?
I don't have a view on it, but I have my experience from it. Okay. And I just think the circles that it runs in is actually just this excuse of spirituality, of people want to focus this. Just it is when I was like hanging in those circles. One, the people I was with felt like the energy of it felt dirty, felt very like mixed and muddled. Yeah. And on top of that, it's like somehow perceived as more spiritual or sold as more spiritual, and for me it's just a massive distraction from doing anything actually remotely spiritual and self-development oriented. Yeah. Like it is so fucking time consuming. Like I struggle to manage myself. Put me in with another person, okay, now I have to manage me in relationship to them. Yeah. Fuck, let's put 5 people in. Yeah. Like, I'm never going to have any time to really reflect. Yeah. So for me, like my experience of it has been that it's actually a massive like veil to hide behind and avoid any real self-development work and deep drop into having to face the shit that I've come here to learn.
Yeah, interesting. I don't really have any personal experience with it, but from a client point of view, I feel like it causes a lot more pain and confusion and insecurity. And I mean, you could probably take it out a positive way to say, yeah, it's shining a light on stuff to work on, but if you're going to work on it, then work on it. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a conversation in a lot of circles that I'm in too. So it is. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, Aubrey Marcus and his partner open and talk about it really openly.
See, I find him really solid when he talks about it.
Yeah, you reckon?
Well, I've read a few things by him. I try not to. I don't. I'm in a space where like a lot of the stuff that I want to do has come from direct experience, so I try not to like model my stream with too much input from other people's. Yeah, cool. And I'm like, but I've read a couple of things. I'm like, like you sound pretty solid about that. And it's like anything. It's for me. It's always it's not what, but how. It's not what. Like digging ditches could be the most spiritual, beautiful process. Like a polyamorous relationship could. From my experience, have I seen it working that way? And anything that's trendy, I try to avoid. I'm like, oh, it's trendy? Okay, cool. I think it's lost its essence, or it's been completely muddled up.
That's so interesting. Because I feel the same way about CBD oil.
Yeah.
Like everyone's talking about
Oh,
it.
it's all the rage.
Yeah, it's all the rage and it's in everything.
It's the
right?
same thing. I think we're hitting on this thing of looking for answers.
Yes.
Searching for answers like from the outside world. Oh, I have more partners. That'll make it better. It's like, fuck. Even when I have 6 partners, and I still, the story's coming from the inside.
Yes.
It's like this thing of blaming people for, like, I use it, blame. So we blame people, but we also blame them for our happiness. We blame them for our sadness. I make the sadness every time. I make the happiness. So
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to your point, I think I've been really sitting with myself, like if I'm, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day, it's like, yeah, I'm really horny and I'd really like to meet someone, or I really want to be with someone. And it's like, hang on a minute, I don't need anyone external to me to fulfill that void. How do I give what I'm needing to myself? You know, how do I love myself more? How do I connect with myself deeper? Which is interesting because we're always taught to look external, to get externally, and we'll be happy once we get the things.
Yeah, it never works.
It's
like, for me, I can relate to that totally. When I have those like urges of like, oh, I want to have a wank, I'm like, hang on, like I'm gonna go, like, why? Like sometimes, it's lovely and I want to do it, but a lot of the time, like, it can be a distraction. It's not the what, it's the same thing, not what, but how. I'm like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
And I think that was a sad realization I talked about in my last blog about dealing with rejection, like, or dealing like with not getting what I want. And one of the ways, instead of feeling like, oh, like the feels, it's like to go and fuck someone. I'm like, fuck, that's brutal. It can trick someone into thinking like I want something, and really I just want to like avoid myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and get something really kind of, I keep on saying like fundamental or baseline. It's very shallow.
Yeah, totally.
And so tell me, or tell the listeners, I guess, so what's life like now?
What's life like now?
Post threesome.
So
yeah, I know, but okay, more to the point. So I guess I want to draw upon what you're doing. I called you a men's empowerment coach. What would you say that you are? Like
masculinity mentor.
Yeah, amazing.
So, like, first and foremost, I'm a human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
Secondly, after that, it's like I appreciate that. Like right now, I'm a man in this human form.
Yeah.
So that's why I focus on working with men, because yes, we have shared human experiences, and yes, what I'm teaching and talking about is relevant to all humans, but I know it through the lens of being a man in this world.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I really don't, I feel it's important to, I feel there's definitely, like, there's often something there's obviously something fucked up between men and women right now. Like, it's not working as a general. So it's like, all right, fellas, let's go sit down. Like, let's sort our shit out. Let's get really good with ourselves, hold each other accountable to that, and then show back up in the face of a woman and see what happens. Like, that's my approach to it. So get our half of the whole, cleaner, clear, on point. Women are already doing that. Show back up, and let's see if then we can start to co-create instead of codependent abuse.
Yeah. And where do you think that we kind of lost our way in that? And do you think like we've ever really related on a, how would you call it, instead of a codependent, a co-creating level?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've seen it twice, but I've seen it once, maybe with a couple, and it just pissed me off watching them. Fuck you and your function. And don't highlight all the fucking habits I have picked up. Like, oh Jesus! I was like, is that my function? It's like, that feels like a lot of work.
Let's go fuck something.
Exactly. So, where do we go away? I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
It doesn't interest me. Like, for me, it's like I think a lot of the trouble comes off the past and then forecasting it. Like, well, this is how it is. This is like for me, I've experienced a lot of this is how men are. It's like treat me as I am, not as the collective you've experienced. So I feel like one of the downsides is of the connectedness of the world is there's a lot of like just lumping into boxes.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Good. And so would you say that like this circle that you have for men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know how we do it?
Yeah.
Cool. So, well, for me, it's my belief. Always is like for me, it's I want to live my life so incredibly well that it inspires other people to do so. So that whole thing of like get my light so bright that it can't help but encroach in someone else's circle, and they might see a little bit more about themselves.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I don't want to change anyone. I just want to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want that to be like a trip switch for someone to go, fuck, you know what? I want to be more me too.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole passion is just, who the fuck am I? How do I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
How do I hold that?
Mm.
And that being a trip switch for other people, go, fuck, that looks like a lot of fun because my life is fucking fantastic. Like my life's good. And then how we do that in the actual like logistical sense. So I would do one-on-one coaching with people. I use the yoga model and the yoga framework through a tantric philosophy, working with people.
Yeah.
On top of that, I work with my best mate Stu Gaden. He's a wilderness psychotherapist. And a fellow called Bulge, who's a concreter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a fucking legend.
Yeah, it sounds it.
Yeah, his wife's incredible as well, Holly. They work down in Braidwood, and we do a thing called Wise Men's Gathering each year. So we have an annual gathering. We might start doing a winter one, and in that we do survival skills, men's circles, real relating, breath work, yoga, movement training, and like what others? Like there's a whole list. We just have this skill set, and then all I feel like I'm ever doing is providing a comfortable doorway for someone to step into themselves. Yeah. So it's like almost a bit of a trick. It's like, hey, come here, I'll teach you how to make fire with your hands. And then they come, it's like, and through that process, there's inevitably like some sense of self-development because it's actually really fucking hard. You have to persevere. Yeah. And you're doing this thing that's primal, like built into our DNA around survival. Yes. So that's the shiny business card, and underneath that, then there's the showing up. And as a coach, I feel like you might relate to this. My job is to just hold a mirror in a space where they're going to see themselves without them knowing I'm holding the mirror. And I do that through questions. I do that through physical work. I do that through various sorts of things. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Any sex ed in there? Heaps of sex ed. Well, yeah. So that's the same thing. So for me, sex is actually an avenue for self-development. Yes. And it's been my greatest one. My greatest teacher's been these women that I've been lucky enough to be in relationships with, have sex with, meet, be friends with. Like they've been the constant. That's how I ended up in this real realm of sex ed. Yeah. So and then I just started learning. Like all the women I was with would be doing these like courses about like wormhood and all these things. I was just kind of listening. And I'm like, fuck man, I know nothing. It's like, do I even know anything about myself? And so they kind of started to dovetail in as I started to have crazier sexual experiences and be way more open to that. And then I was also capitulating as a man in the modern world, and I started to. That got pulled apart, and then that got rebuilt with my teacher and through yoga and all the like survival skills, all the rewilding, all that kind of stuff. And then of late, it's like, man, sex is just we all want it. We're all trying to have it. We all want to do it better. And for me, it's just a constant. Like it's one of the roughest mirrors I work with because it's very obtuse and it's very in my face, and it highlights shit because it's vulnerable, it's scary, it's unknown. It's like the essence of who we are, right? It's where we come from. It's like, so for me, that's where the sex falls in. And then underneath that, it's another avenue, it's another doorway for self-development. Yeah, cool. So you mentioned that you discuss Tantra, or talk about Tantra. So on my Instagram community, someone said, can you do a podcast, talk about Tantra? And I thought, oh, who perfect would be you? Yeah, so I'll tell you what my take on Tantra is. I look at sex this day and age, and it's very masculine focused. It's very purposeful driven, and we get an outcome. We come, and then that's it. And I feel like Tantra that creates the duality between a masculine element and the feminine element, where the feminine is boundless, and it's more about the journey, and it's more about the journey, not so much the destination. Would you say that is, I guess, what Tantra is, or is there something else that you can add to that? So for me, Tantra is a philosophy that's applied to everything. It's not. I think Tantra is the same kind of became trendy and became about sex because people, realize, oh my god, we can do this pleasurable thing that we love for hours and hours and hours. So then it's like, well, then Tantra is sex. Yes. So okay. Yes, that's a leg. That's like a leg of tantric philosophy. It's actually applying tantric philosophy to a thing that we do. Yeah. Where in essence, tantric philosophy is a framework which I apply myself to and carry that into what I do. Okay. And it's for me, it's that beyond the duality of drama, the right and wrong, masculine, feminine. Okay. Is the reality of unity that we all come from and go to the same space. Yeah. We call it birth and we call it death. Yeah. We don't know what's beyond that. Yeah. But we all have that shared experience. Yeah. In the middle, we just have these like little bumps. We call it life. Yeah. but we're different versions. Like we're different versions of the same thing, different slices of the same life.
Mm.
And so for me, holding Tantra in my heart allows me to hold compassion, allows to see, oh, that person is just another version of me.
Mm.
And that
Mm.
there's actually no right and wrong. Like it's a matter of perception. It's a matter of social. It's like I love this one, like cutlery. Where the fuck did that come from? Why is it so wrong to not use it?
Oh my God, yes, yes. I think you've said this before. It's so true. Like our hands were there way before
Like,
knives and forks.
Yeah, you know, when we're making love, I don't get my knife and fork out and scratch on my lover. Like, no, it's because I love that thing. I also love food. So I
Yeah.
understand the hygiene thing, but we have access to the best hygiene in the world. Like, I can clean my hands ridiculously well before I eat. Why am I putting distance between, like, you know, this thing that sustains me and one of my primary senses of feedback, touch?
Yes.
So that, like, but what that actually highlights for me is these unspoken social rules that essentially just get governed by the masses.
Yeah.
So if you look at it in the men's realm right now, we've moved away from the macho model. The
Yes.
macho model was there because people wanted it and people wanted men to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And now that's done, that enough people have gone, fuck, I hate that.
Yeah.
Now we're moving to the emotional one where men are just like fucking wet towels.
Yes.
Like, oh, tell me how you want me to be, baby.
Yeah, and we'll
swing.
Swing.
Tell me how you want to be. And then over time, enough men aren't going to fit into the emotional model of being a man, and then we'll try something else. So for me, Tantra is actually like, okay, well, what man are you? Like individually, if there's 4.6 billion men in the world, that means there's 4.6 billion ways to be a man, and that's how Tantra unfolds. So it's having that individual be in their bliss while also be in the world. So a tantrika is someone who holds the end state of yoga, samadhi, being in consciousness-free, like mental activity, consciousness without mental activity, holding that while they're completely in the world. So it's like, would I have another threesome? Fuck yes, I would. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't. It's not a judgment thing. It's like, if it aligns with who I am, my values, what I want, yes. Is it no? Right now, is it a priority? No. But it's this whole thing of getting rid of dogma, like dropping the dogma and starting to be.
Yeah.
So not letting outside things determine who I am.
Yeah.
Does that help with what Tantra is?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's so funny. Yeah. This is like literally whenever I'm in a yoga like session with Ryan and he talks, I'm like mind blown. I'm just like I'm like, huh? Like the other time, what did you say last week? Last week you were like, I haven't eaten or I'm not eating much at the moment. I was like, what? What do you mean? And you're like, yeah, like I just don't feel like eating and I'm like, I've got so much more clarity and I've got so much more this and that. And I'm like, but why and how? Like, it's so. Talk to me a little bit about that because I'm really interested in that.
Well, I've had an interesting relationship with food. Like at times I was, you know, when I was trying to be like low weight for rowing, like I was like verging on very, very, very skinny for a man my size. And then at other times it's essentially like I just noticed the patterns, like when I'm lacking, when I don't feel like I'm getting that nourishment and sweetness from life, I'll notice I'll really turn to like biscuits, cookies, sweets, chocolate, those kind of things. I've had such a huge relationship with it. I've been from the ending, you know, been through the eating shit food as an athlete to being OCD and organic and all these things, and it was never the answer. Yeah. So it was just another thing. Yeah. Another external thing to try and like sustain the leak that was coming from an internal place. Yeah. Like just plug that hole. Yeah. So for me, like it's the same thing. It's just, you know, all these rules of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got to have them. It's like, well, I'm not hungry. Yeah. Like autonomy is that simple a lot of the time for me. It's like actually I'm not hungry. When I'm happy, I don't need as much. When I'm in flow, I don't need as much. When I do pranayama, I don't need as much. When I see the sunrise, I don't need as much. Dr. Jack Cruz is doing heaps of work to help understand how, yeah, it's all the same thing. Like it's all like I'm not a breatharian. I love food. Sometimes I'll eat like, and then for 3 days I might eat for, you know, I might eat the house down, and I eat whatever the fuck I want. Yeah. 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 So for me, I got to the point where I'm so sick of looking for an answer from something that isn't me. Like, oh, this will make you feel that way. It's like, no, I'll do it and then I'll blame it. So I'm just like, with the eating, with all these things, it's, yeah, like I haven't eaten yet today. You haven't? No, I like working on, I just had some tea. Good. Yeah, I just had some tea. I felt a little uncomfortable coming into the podcast, and I just noticed that kick to, let's go to the bakery, get some stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm not hungry. Not really, yeah. So just, yeah, for me, it's, I don't know, it's become very easy to maintain a healthy physical body, less input, more like nurturing, more nourishing. When it's hungry, it eats. I buy it. Good. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Thank you for that. Because I think it's you that also said that we're not actually eating food that's full of nutrition, it's the energy from the food.
Yeah, it's like it's a matter of conducting this electron transfer chain. We don't, when mitochondria functions, it functions on an electron transfer chain, not calorie transfer chain, carb, protein, or fat transfer chain. It's electrons. So
Mm,
it's a yes, it's very different to what I believe we've been sold as
mm.
how to be healthy. It's fucking simple. We're just a sophisticated indoor plant. Like, with emotions, fuck, that's all we are.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, that's all we are.
Yeah, which plays into sexual energy, right? Because sex is an energy exchange.
Totally.
And you can totally, and I know I've had experiences where I've slept with someone and I feel like shit afterwards. Like I cry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. Because I actually knew that I was taking on his energy, and like I literally had to cleanse myself after being with him because it was, yeah, it wasn't aligned at all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, I can relate. It's like that, after one night stand, and you like need to get a shower, and you want to get like a steel brush and scrub your skin off.
Chew your arm off. Okay, so tell me, what would you like if you could, I guess, educate younger men or men even your age about love and sex and relating to someone, another human? What would be, how would you go about it, or what would you think would be the most important things that they should learn?
Oh, so
That's such a big question.
So multi-layered. Yeah. The simple thing is know myself really fucking well before I mix something with that.
Yeah.
And have the ability
true.
have the ability to hold myself in that.
Yes.
Like a lot of my pain has come through completely losing myself in other. That battle between strength and isolation and losing myself in other. I think it's like a worldly battle we go and that plays out not with just other people, but other can be food. The food then defines me. Yeah, this person then defines me this way, this way, this way. All these things that move away from self-governance or any sense of internal authority. So if it was for young men, what I would love to do education-wise was actually provide a framework where they start to cultivate their own internal authority. Like, what are my values? How do I want to feel? What do you mean, how do I want to feel? So feelings don't travel across the airways and we ingest them in a conversation.
Yeah.
We have our set of triggers and then, we produce them from probably subconscious stimuli.
Yeah.
But it's like, imagine if like young men were empowered to be like, and young, I'm not saying like teenagers, I'm saying young men, like we always have the ability to change, but like to be like, actually like, this is who this human is. Like, this is who I want to be, and this is the kind of code that I want to live by for now, and that can change. And then we start having people, there's way less judgment when I'm solid in myself. Like when I'm happy, I'm much less likely to road rage, much less likely to judge. I love judging. We can go into that later, like fucking imperative. And it's unavoidable. So
yeah, totally.
It's like another trend, like don't judge. It's like fucking judge. Judge your house down. Just keep involved.
Yeah.
That's a nicer way to be.
Yeah, totally.
And so if it was me, it would be providing a framework for men, and then that carries through into all areas. In the way of sex, it would actually be getting a woman up in front of young fellas and being like, hey, this is a pussy. These are like, this is a vulva, this is a vagina, like the difference. This is like how it's nice to approach this. In my course that I'm launching and approaching intimacy, 8-week online course for men. Yeah. It's gonna like I brought Amy on, Rip Snorter. Yeah. And we talk about it. It's like, yo, you want to finger a girl? Here's a good way to start. Yes. Great. Like these are the lips, this is the clitoris, this is the internal clitoris, this is the different types of orgasm. Yes. Here are some good ways to actually access that. Yeah. Like not ready. Like actually get a woman who has a vagina, because no man does that I'm aware of. Yeah. Like, from birth. Yeah. Rare cases, I know, semantics. All right, but like, let's not go there. Like, that's fuck. I don't even want to like. No. Get a woman up there and actually get her doing some education. Get some older men up there. One of the best things I said when I was 26, I heard a fella one of my kind of shaman teachers was like, mate, like, go slow. Don't believe the hype. Like, go fucking slow. Yeah. Like, oh man, like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it'd just be like real sex ed, not the, like, This is the menstrual cycle. Yeah, well, I didn't even get that. Like, right? That would be great to know about. Yeah. Then it wouldn't be so scary. Fuck. Yeah. Well, I think for some women it's still scary because it's not taught in an empowering way. Nothing is taught empowering. It's taught to scare us. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, and so it would just be, it would be real. It would be nitty gritty. It would be real. It would be like, these are juices. It's like, Like, fucking drink it up. Like, this isn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's actually talk, because you guys are all going to fucking, but you're doing it in like a pretty detrimental way.
Yes.
But we don't know. We don't know if it's detrimental. It might play out that way. But I know young guys and young girls are fucking a lot, and they're doing it in some pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Gnarly ways
And it's getting
environments.
gnarlier because
Yeah.
they're turning to things like porn, and porn's getting gnarly.
Yeah.
And so girls are thinking it's okay to be hit, and guys are thinking, oh, like anal is like straight up.
Yeah.
Like,
And we'll start there.
it's, yeah. Yeah. We'll start at the butt.
Yeah.
I actually am I'm coaching someone at the moment, and I gave her a sex educational coaching session, and it was so amazing to walk away from that. And because I know that in terms of women empowerment, we always tell women, you know, like, have a relationship with your pussy, you know, look at your pussy. And I say the word pussy because I don't actually resonate with vagina because it sounds very sterile. And, you know, just, yeah, see the beauty in it. But when I actually went through exactly what everything was to this client of mine, she's like, oh my God, now I know what everything is. So when she does finally look at herself, she's like, oh, there's my urethra and there's my perineum. Because I said, oh, there's your perineum. She went, oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
yeah, it's, yeah, it was really cool to go through that.
Totally, all guys, like, we worship this, and we want to worship this thing. I think men's, like, you know, there's a lot of talk around at the moment, this primal fear for women that of men, because they can kill them because they're biologically stronger. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's true. I think there's also a primal fear for men. The flip of that is that we're fucking worthless.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I think that's the underlying one, I believe, for men.
And that women are evolving above men.
Not even about, I don't even think, I think from day dot, it's like, oh, okay, yes, we're a little bit more extended.
Yeah.
You know, and you only need one of us and you can keep this whole thing going.
Yeah, wow. I never really considered that.
So I think a lot of, and that's where the pleasing come from, the wanting to be worthy, the wanting to be, at the end of the day, like, a lot of people, men think with their dicks. I'm like, actually, we just don't have the emotional vocabulary to communicate how we feel, and we feel like the easiest way for us to do that is through the physical form. So, like, my heart, the base of my heart is my dick. And I'm trying to get connection. Like, I want to feel safe, I want to feel worthy, and society has really put a big box on me. I feel like this is the easiest way for me to do it.
Yes, 100%.
And men have, what, like 20 words less than women emotional vocabulary on average. So a lot of men can't actually explain what's going on. They're just trying to show you.
Yeah.
So you just want to fuck me. It's like, I want to fucking love you, and this is how I know love.
Yes. Oh my God. Like, drop mic. And we're done. Yeah, wow. That's great. And for guys to have that kind of awareness about themselves as well, because they will get that, you know, the woman will feel like you're just wanting to fuck them. And, you know, because women want to connect with the mind first before opening their legs. So they're pushing for mind-to-mind connection, and men are pushing for genital connection. And we're not understanding ourselves at a really deep level to communicate that and know and check in and be like, oh, this is what I actually want. Because I remember, so Ryan and I have actually shared the floor at a sex talk. We're on the panel, and Ryan said something really cool, which was about, the old paradigm to the new paradigm of, and I think Tantra teaches this, is that our positive pole for women is our heart and the negative pole is our pussy. And for men, the positive pole is their cock and the negative pole is their heart. So men will try and love through sex, but actually having that awareness about yourself is like, what am I actually looking for in this time? It may not be sex. It may be just holding and cuddling, or it may be, I don't know, like going and getting connection some other way with your partner, you know, trying something new and going on holiday or something like that. I don't know. But having that awareness within yourself to be able to show up and go, okay, this isn't, I'm not wanting the physical, I'm wanting something else.
Yeah, it's scary as fuck for me. Like this attitude that, like this underlying belief that we need to be useful all the time. And that comes in because once I'm useful, I'm worthy. So it's like, I need to be useful. It's like, well, I can be useful with my dick. It's like, actually, what I needed was a fucking hug. Because what we kept saying, there was connection. Like, both are looking for connection. Humans want connection.
Yes.
Like, inherently want it. That's why we all end up at the pub on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Like, we want connection.
Absolutely.
And then, our inability to know. For me, it was my inability to know myself well enough to communicate what I was wanting. And actually putting it out there and being like, hey, this is what I want. That's scary as fuck because someone could say no. Yes. So this fear of, and that ties in, like, I'll label it as fear of rejection. And that plays out in a heap of different forms.
Mhm.
Then what I've come to learn is like, oh fuck, like I've rejected myself first when I refused to ask for what I want.
Yeah. Could not have said that better.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's actually the coldest knife. Like that is
Yeah.
the deepest cut.
Yes.
And that has become, as I've started to like really work with that, it's like when I put myself out, my yoga teacher said something to me, like he laughed so much. He's like, fuck, do you remember when you started working? He's like, do you remember? He's like, you didn't even know what to say to girls. You used to call me and ask, like, I don't know what to say back. And he's like, now it's become it's like I'm interacting with a human. So that's like a big shift, is like, yeah, I'm just much more fucking confident.
Yeah. But just knowing that the other person sitting across from you is just a human, and at the very base level, they want connection and love.
This comes from, that's the same thing.
And they want to be
the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And what I learned is like he said, if you just put yourself out there exactly in alignment with what you value and how you want to feel, it does not matter what comes back from the world. And that echoes through my head all of the time when I start to do that. I'm like, okay, hang on, what do I actually? Oh wow, okay, cool. I just happy to say hi to this person.
Yeah.
And that's just that same thing. When I really am aligned with who I am, what I want to be, how I want to be, it doesn't fucking matter what comes back. It's just the world unfolding, and then I keep doing my thing. The world keeps doing it.
You just be aligned to who you are. And to the point that you said before, like you being fear of being rejected, so don't speak up and ask for what you actually want. The thing is that when you don't speak up and ask for what you really want, you get the thing that you think you need, which was sex, you're not going to feel good. And so that creates a barrier in the relationship, and it creates resistance, it creates bitterness, it creates withdrawal. So, and then, you get to a point in the relationship where you're both like not having sex or not connecting.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yes.
Like inability to just...
You're full of all the all the sayings. I love it.
It's totally that. It's just, I agree. It's just like, just withers over time. We've got to just talk to what?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would educate, and that's another one, education of men. Like, let's give men the emotional, but the tools they need to communicate what they want, and take away the stigma that all this stigma around. Like that's why Man Up. That's why all these campaigns are killing it. And they're just getting guys to talk, and it's having a huge, profound effect. Like for me, it's like, okay, let's take this a step further. Yeah, talking's beautiful, but fuck, let's actually be autonomous. Let's start to self-manage. Like, how do I manage this mind? How do I manage these emotions? How do I manage this body? How do I preserve this body?
Yeah.
There's 3 things that should be taught at school.
Yeah.
Like tax, yay.
Yeah. Algebra, woohoo!
Yeah, but my mind's still running crazy.
Yeah.
My energy is fluctuating like mad.
Yes.
My body's aching. The body shouldn't ache. The body should feel juicy and good. It's
yes.
Like, this is my little vehicle.
Yes, yes. And people don't know how great our bodies are designed to feel. They think that it's okay to have pain or ailment or dis-ease in the body, and we just like push forward because everything's about pushing shit uphill and keep moving forward instead of slowing down. And I've noticed even for myself, and I would say like my biggest lesson in life, and if I could like talk to my 18-year-old self, is just to listen to yourself, to really become that trusting and believe in yourself, that when my body is going, Lauren, can you please just slow down, just slow the fuck down. And I know like it's a really great reference. It's like I can slow down in business and business will still move forward. And that for me is massive because I'm like always, gotta hustle, but you can actually switch off and things will still, like the motor will still run.
It's hilarious, right? It's like everything in this world, literally everything has a rhythm, but for some reason us humans think that we don't.
Yeah. It's like why do we've got so much ego?
It's like rhythms. It's like, man, for men, it's like, for me, it was go, collapse.
Yes.
And go, collapse.
Yeah.
And it's this, like for me, I'm like fascinated by noticing like my emotional vitality increasing as the moon moves to fullness. I'm like, so women have a cycle and they bleed, and then it's like, no, men don't. It's like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's actually ridiculous. We're made of the same matter, and that matter affected by the moon. Why wouldn't men have some sort of relationship with that as well?
Yeah, wow, okay. Tell me more about that.
Like, they can't. I'm exploring it.
Okay, great.
Like,
well, I'll get you back in.
Yeah, it's like a question, like, why? Like, I noticed for me, like, I started to notice, oh yeah, I'm like more stable, then I've just got a bit more looseness. Then one time I was crying in my girlfriend's lap. I didn't know why I was fucking crying. And I was like, is this still sexy? You're like, that was a fear, like it wasn't going to be sexy. Like, It's not okay for me to be emotional. It's not okay for me to cry. And she's like, yeah.
I love this because I've just been mapping my own lunar cycles and I've really noticed the different energies that I have in each week throughout my cycle, and really surrendering to that has been amazing. And I look forward to the week where I'm like boss bitch getting stuff done, but then equally and actually for the first time in my life I've looked forward to bleeding. I've looked forward to my menstrual cycle. I know, because I've forever grown up thinking it's an inconvenience and it's a discomfort, and why am I a boy? It would be so much easier if I was a boy. Like, so much neglect to my womb space. So it's been a really beautiful journey for myself to connect with that and just really surrender to every energy source.
It's like a beautiful, I'm like jealous. I'm like, it's this beautiful fucking cleansing ritual.
Yeah.
Like in one of the most sacred like temples in the world. And it's like, it's pretty fucking cool. I mean, I found this fascinating. This was, a lot of people, like, in Bali, if you're menstruating, they ask you not to go into the temples and not to go to the ritual. And there's a lot of people like, that's not fair, I'm equal, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, totally. But the actual, from what I've heard and understood, the reasoning behind it is, no, you're already in a process, you're already in a ritual.
Oh, well, it's beautiful.
We don't need to mix rituals. That one is actually, like, so fucking powerful. It needs to have its own space.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be intermingled with this one we're going to do.
Yeah, beautiful. I really like that.
It's more of an honouring.
It's an honouring.
It's not like
it's not like you're discriminated against.
It's not a dirty or no blood. So it's just like, actually, like, in a lot of traditional tribes, there'd be a fucking red tent. And and the women would be in there and just, like, waited on hand and foot.
Yeah, like, bring that back.
Yeah, totally. It's like, I love it. Like, I love. With my partner, I'm like, I love when you're in the field. We just chill out, eat food. Like, let's do that. Like, let's be
sleep.
Like, yeah, it's great.
Get comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex on periods, awesome.
Yes.
I'm putting it out there.
Yes.
I'm down.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can just go to the shower if it's too much. No, like, full on, like, my friend talks, like, Dextrosine, maybe a bit much, but still, like, it can help, and it can be actually quite relieving for the woman, from my experience.
Do you know what? Yeah, absolutely. And I remember, yes, absolutely. Like, I've not a lot of period sex with my past partners, but I have, and I remember, like, this is really interesting for me, and a massive point of me falling for someone or being very attracted to a man is if he can deal with the sight of blood and my blood specifically. Because I think from a feminine point of view, it's like, if I'm going to be with you and I'm going to give you children and you're going to see me in my most vulnerable, you're going to be okay with that. Like, you're going to be okay seeing the baby come through the canal, and there's going to be a lot of blood and shit going on there. So yeah, like, it's really empowering when I'm with a man and he's, like, totally cool with the blood, because sometimes I'm like, oh, there's blood, and he's like, it's cool, let's keep going, and I'm like, oh my god, I love you.
Totally.
You're so amazing. Where equally, like, I've had a guy that's needed to, like, run to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, that's really, like, killed the moment completely.
Totally. I think, well, for me, like, that right there is the essence of Tantra. It's like, this is one of my favourite things to work with. Like, who has the problem here? It's like, I have a problem. That means, actually, it's my problem to deal with. So, you know what I mean? Like, what highlighted that for me is, like, you're saying you were worried there was blood. You're not worried if it's like, so it's like, that's your worry, not his, and he just confirmed it for you, which was a beautiful symbiosis of humans getting on.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, like, when I've been with partners and I've been with partners and it's been socially unacceptable, there might have been violence, there might have been some sort of abuse in the relationship. Yeah, where like, I've definitely emotionally abused partners in the past with complete ignorance.
Okay.
But when I've been on the receiving end of it, my approach and my philosophy, and this is like, I jumped into a relationship, it was full on, and my whole philosophy was, I want to see if yoga's real. Like, let's fucking put this to the test. And it was full on, but it was everything that came up was like, oh, this person is really, like, being fucking abusing me right now. It's like, oh, they're just being them, and I have a fucking issue with it. So I can either leave. Like, and now I'm getting more clarity. I was younger, but, like, it was like, so I can either be angry at them for them being them, or I can just own what I want to do, and what I want to do is get the fuck out of here. So I'm going to leave. And, like, taking it to that level has really helped me get clear on the essential Tantra of life. It's like, oh, this is my, like, I don't need to be here being, insulted or abused or attacked.
Yeah.
It's my choice. I'm staying here for that.
Correct. Yeah, correct. You're not a victim. It's your responsibility, and take responsibility for it. Yeah.
I was like, with the breakup, I remember, like, I very rarely lost it, but I remember one time I said, you're not even fucking trying to change. And, like, that crushed my heart, because what I should have said and what I meant to say and what I did say afterwards was like, I'm not happy with how fast you're changing.
Mm.
I have a problem with your rate of evolution.
Mm.
Like, that's the truth of it. And people, that's colder and harder. It's like, bullshit, that's the fucking truth. I have an issue with you.
Mm.
And I can blame you and say, you're not trying. But who the fuck am I to know that? I'm only me. And so playing at that level for me is like, that's where, like, relating Tantra, that's the fucking business for me. That's the level I like to go at.
And it's a beautiful thing when someone can hold space for you, which kind of feeds into you holding space for me last week. Like, it's really lovely because, you know, I can show up and I can be emotional and a guy won't be able to deal with my emotion, but I sat there and got teary in front of you and was quite vulnerable, but you could just hold space for me, and that was really lovely.
Yeah. For me, it's just, that should be gone.
Yeah.
Because, well, okay, then if we play that out, if I wasn't cool with it, I would, like, if I was like, oh fuck, Lauren's crying, like, oh fuck, it's like, yeah, I have an issue with you crying.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like this constant blaming of the other person I see, and that's one of the pitfalls I see in relationships: expecting someone to be the way you want them to be without communicating what you want or need.
Correct, but then if you showed up like that, you know, years ago to me, I would be like, I'm not. I would feel shamed for crying, so then I would try and not cry in front of you.
Same.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me. That still takes a lot for me to cry in front of my partner, no matter how many times I've done it.
Yeah.
And you know, she can say,
like you're able to.
It's like,
oh my god, do that face again. I didn't have the camera on you. Brilliant.
But this is that for me. Like, that's very much the essence of Tantra. Like, whose problem is this?
Yeah.
You know, like, that's like real internal authority. Doesn't mean I have to stay in a relationship. Doesn't mean I have to, but it means I have to own my shit.
Correct.
Because that means if I have an issue, I have to fucking own it and I have to move on.
Yeah.
And that's scary as fuck. Whereas, like, you're not even this, you're not even that, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Correct.
So fucking leave.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm loving that. It sounds, like, unfortunately, Tantra in many communities is all based around sex and having sex for 4 hours and stuff like that. But it sounds like it's a really beautiful way of relating and learning more about yourself, because really that's all it is. And relationships are such a beautiful development tool for you.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the real work.
Totally can be. Totally can be. Like, plant medicine, just as strong, but, you know, plant medicine for me has been just as great a teacher. Vision Quest, sitting in the bush, fantastic teacher. Working with kids.
What is Vision
teacher.
Quest?
Like 4 days, 4 nights, sitting solo in the bush in like a 10-foot circle with just water, sleeping bag and sleeping mat and clothes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you do that in New South Wales?
Yeah, with a guy called Wild Heart. I think they're the company that run it. I did a lot of bush mentoring with some people who've been like great mentors and teachers for me, Lee and Gina.
Yeah.
They do Blue Gum Bushcraft, so rewild your child programs in school holidays.
Yeah.
Did learned a lot of survival skills and did like a survival week with them out in the bush. Did a Vision Quest.
Yeah.
I think it's Wild Heart.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really like so it's the same things, like, and then relationships. For me, that seems to be a big thread of fucking teacher. Like, women seem to just, you know, I learn a lot.
And equally through men as well. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, men as well. It's just, I love it. Some boys like.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about me and my relationships with men.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I was like, yeah, my mate, I learn a lot from my mates, but then at the same time, like, just get my ass kicked all the time.
It's good, great teachers.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
What other questions do you have?
Are
you going into that thinking stage that you did? Are you going into contemplation? I remember it from the talk. Or
oh, when was that?
You just had, I just noticed you like go into your little contemplation phase.
Was that at the end of the talk?
Yeah.
Oh, my brain was fried.
Yeah, it's cool like
I was so glad that you called it, and I was like trying to like keep it going, but I was like, I'm not articulating anything worth actually remembering for any of the people there. So yeah, it was good though. I think we've actually covered all my questions.
Really?
Yeah. Do you, is anything?
No, I mean, no rush. Is there any other ones that I don't think I was meant to say that out.
What's sex like for a man?
Ooh, depends. What's sex like for a man? For me, it can be full of pressure. Yeah. To perform, to make sure this woman orgasms, to, you know, I find like as I like someone more, I feel more pressure. I'm like, oh god, now I really care about this. And so it's just traversing this edge of like, I'm just doing the thing. So, what's sex like for a man? Feels fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be super like, it can feel super empowering. Like pleasuring a woman, I don't know, it just fucking feels fantastic. Just feels like, you know, maybe it feeds into that story of worthiness through usefulness. But fuck me, it's a great way to feed it. Like, totally
you got to feed it.
Yeah, you know. I think it's actually more confronting and more scary than we let on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of shit and fear going on for men. I definitely feel that. You know, we just try and hide it under bravado and kind of false confidence.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know many dudes have had good education into it.
Yeah.
So very rare that I meet friends who like had a really good first experience, or you know, just.
You mean first experience ever, like losing virginity, or first experience with their partner?
No.
Either or. Really.
Either or. Like just the original. So for men, feels fantastic. Can be super. I think it's like there's this primal power to it, like, and you're in that instance. I mean, the logistics or the biology of it you're giving, like, you know, you're entering a woman. And I'm entering a woman, so it's pretty fucking cool. Like,
yeah.
And there's like more of that giving, and then it's so, yeah, man. Like I've had like sex where I pretty much like been having to fight back tears during sex.
Yeah.
It was so. I just had such a like loving partner. She was just holding so much space for me to actually face the fear in the moment of having no fucking idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, and that was so confronting, and then that being shown, like, you know, like shown how to do it, and she was like, I was like, is this what it's meant to be like?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that was like heartbreakingly beautiful. So it was like, fuck, like,
it's so nice.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's really not hard. It's just there's just no communication around it.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds really good.
So yeah, like a big part for me would be like letting go of the needing to perform, needing to please, and just rolling with what happens, and then keep going. It doesn't have to, like, you know, it doesn't end when I come.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what next?
I think that is, massive lesson is that, it doesn't need to end after you come in. Yeah.
And the more I delve into this work, the more sex has different meanings, where I'm like, fuck, I just did that because I could.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's almost losing its shininess, and it's just becoming, it's losing its, you know, shiny object syndrome.
Yes.
It's the next thing to fix me.
Yes.
Totally losing that.
Yeah.
And it's just becoming, it's just like, actually, yes, tonight I just want to cuddle. Like that would be sex for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting, because I feel like the more that I have become, I guess, sexually liberated, but I guess just learned more how to have sex the way that I think sex is designed, right? So instead of, you know, when I was younger, it was for validation and very external. I have less sex partners. Like I don't need it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I have a very high sex drive and there's lots of sexual energy, but it's more about that beautiful connection that you have with someone. And the people that I do sleep with, it is a beautiful experience because we are aligned, and it's not empty. Yeah.
See, that's how this started for me, was from the empty and not enjoying the empty. So then I started what I coined at the time an approach to intimacy. So on one night stands, I would stop it and say, hey, like, I don't just want to fuck you and fall asleep. Like, like that actually is not nice. You deep throating me straight off the bat. Like, can we warm up? Like, this isn't the
Can I know your name first?
Yeah. Totally. And I had someone say this, like, do we know each other's names? I was like, no. But that it started. So for me, I don't. That for me, it feels like a little bit of a trap, needing to have the connection. It's like, fuck, we're two humans. We're actually very similar. Like, we can connect if we want to show up right now. And doing it in the face of the unknown, like in the moment. So, and being like, no, like, what do you like? Like, do you like it like this? Like, with this random person, and being like, hey, no, make it very clear. I actually want to be intimate. I don't just want to fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
How do you like it? Like, what do you like? Like, I would really like this. And communicating in that moment for me has been like a massive. So making one night stands, like one night intimate stands, like
Yes.
crazy intimacy.
Yeah.
And out of all of them, I've had friendships form from it.
Yeah,
So
great.
like had sex all night, got up, go on for your breakfast, have sex,
Yeah.
and like part ways, and then
Yeah.
it's become a friendship.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. One of my lovers, and it just started from a Splendor one night stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, she's writing a testimonial for my course, like, you know, because
Great.
you want testimonials from men. I'm like, fuck that, like that's bullshit. Like I want a testimonial from like
Women.
like someone I've been with to say actually like
this
it was
is
like, because I told her, I was like, yo, I'm trying this thing, I'm calling it a second approach of intimacy, like as we became like more lovers. But the one night stand, it was cool. Like there was connection, there was friendship, there was ability to like be like, oh, like laugh and have fun instead of like trying to mimic a porn set. So like creating it moment to moment, I think is totally achievable, and I think it would transform our nightlife experience and dating experience if it was like people, when I was willing to show up and be like, no, this is what I want. I don't want a porn set.
Yeah.
Fucking revolutionary for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds amazing.
But I mean, that's the thing. It sounds, it's like it's not hard. It's just one person has to show up. Everyone wants connection. Everyone wants to show up. We just were never given permission. Like all these stories are too much for the world. Too this, too that. It's like, whose story is it? Definitely wasn't mine. But I do remember being, oh, you're a bit much, right? So it's like that's essentially saying don't show up. Like dim your light. Turn it down a little bit, man. But it's like when I follow the fear, like a code of practice I have is following the fear. It's like, what if it scares me? Like fear is essentially like confidence. My confidence has come from experience. I lacked confidence in this realm because I had no experience, and I didn't know. Like I don't know what I don't know. That's literally I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And fear is often around the unknown.
Yeah.
Well, I better figure out what the fucking unknown is, and then I won't be scared of it.
Yeah.
People are confident in their industry because they know their industry.
Yeah, 100%.
If we knew why are people not confident in themselves?
Because they don't know themselves.
Yeah, it's so simple. It's like, oh, all I have to learn is this one thing. I just have to learn about one thing, and the world will be fucking fantastic. Like it's almost too easy. Yeah. It's like the ultimate cheat code. Yeah. So you're telling me I only need to learn one thing. Yeah. And the world will be fantastic. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like one thing. Yeah. Still have undulations because everything flows. Yeah. But I'm still this one thing, and then all the other things are experiences this one thing has.
Amazing. Love it. Yeah. I could go into something else right now. It's not sex related. Do it. So I'm reading this book at the moment. So I am getting into metaphysics. Cool. Yeah. And about how everything's energy, and that, the energy creates the atom, that creates the cell, that creates the, I think, some subcell or whatever, and then creates the organ, right? And I'm 40 pages into this book, and I literally was just lying on my bed this morning, and I'm like, I'm so goddamn powerful, and I have created everything in my life, but I've been playing really small. And whilst I'm so happy with my results, I'm so happy where I'm at, but I'm like, far out, I can manifest anything that I want. I don't know how this actually relates to what we were just talking about. Yeah, it's all on you. Yeah, that's it. And get to know me, and get to know how I can actually enjoy this 3D plane of the emotions and the material life, but actually realize that we are so much more, and getting to know how I can connect with the 4D or the metaphysical plane, and have anything I want, and understand and bring those emotions to me. I was just saying this to Liam before he left. It's like, instead of looking outside of yourself and thinking that I'll be happy once I get that, it's actually bringing that goal into you right now and just acting from the place of it's already done. Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. It's like there's a couple of things that stand out for me. It's like anything I can be aware of cannot truly be me. Anything you can? Anything I can be aware of can't actually be me. Break that down for me. Well, I'm watching it. If I can be aware of it, it means I can see it, so it's not actually me. Yeah, okay. So anything after I am the story. Yes. I am the story. Anything after I am, that's the essence of the yoga that for me I practice. So anything I can be aware of, it's I'm aware of my emotions. They're not me. If I let them own me, it's going to be a fucking rough ride. Wow. Okay.
It doesn't mean I disown
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
I work with them.
Yes.
You know, they're an attribute of my experience, so I work with them. I don't want to have that
I'm not
monastic,
of them.
you know, monk life. I want to live. I want to feel. I want all of the juiciness.
Yeah.
But it's still like my breath. It's an attribute of me. I'm aware of it. I can regulate it.
Yeah.
You know, if we sat here and laughed, we'd be happy. So we can manufacture happiness.
Yeah.
And we can probably do it just by thinking about it.
Yeah.
My thoughts, I'm aware of them. They can't be me.
Yeah.
When they owned me, I was depressed. You know, when they owned me, I had social anxiety. I'm OCD. So the essence of that is like, yeah, anything that I can be aware of cannot truly be me. So getting back to like the source of creation, like my drop of spirit that everyone shares, I just have my little attributes on it.
Love it.
And the other thing, I don't know what the other thing I was going to say to you. Two things I stood out. Yeah, it's like that for me at the crux of it, and sex is a great doorway into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like really showing up in sex, like it's confronting.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it gets so much more beautiful when you do. Yeah. When you do pull away the layers, become vulnerable, and
The vulnerability is big enough. Brene Brown did a lot of work on that.
yeah, she is. Yeah,
it's great.
It's amazing because I mean we're brought up to think that vulnerability is weak, and you know you're not supposed to be vulnerable, and it's actually so much strength in that.
Yeah, it's this like I guess like ego. It's like this trick that we think. And like, see, I didn't like the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was fucking cop out.
Okay.
I think there's
Tell me more.
Well, I felt it was like accept mediocrity and be happy with it. Like you're not important, you're not this, you're not that. And it's like I understand what you're trying to, and I felt there was a lot of like deep spiritual philosophy from a lot of lineages used in a theoretical sense, not an experiential sense.
Okay.
So it was like, yeah, no, you're writing about this, but like, have you actually spent the time sitting with that and embodying that? So for me, it was very much a theoretical approach to an experiential life. And I just think that's such fucking bullshit. Like, just expect less and you'll be happier. It's like, no, that's the other end of the same stick. It's still putting the focus on the outside world. As long as the focus is on the external world, there will be a lot of suffering.
Yes.
So it was just the other end of the stick. It's like, oh, we tried wanting more and it didn't work, so now let's try wanting less. Fuck, really?
Let's swing the other way.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like the pendulum. Oh, we'll go this way. At some point, we just have to be ourselves.
Yeah.
And hold center in that.
Yeah.
And
have you ever thought of writing a book?
Oh, I did write a book. Yeah. It's on my laptop.
Okay, good.
For
sale?
No, it got slammed. Like so, it was called 7 Steps to Stop Being a Cunt.
Wow, you are like brutally honest. I love it.
And it's a book for guys, right? And so like in the yogi circles, we got slammed for using the word cunt and all these things, blah blah. That aside, so I sent the book off and the editor.
Because it's a word of worship, or because it's discriminative?
Everyone has a story with it, so you'd have to ask them. But for me, in young boys' circles, it's almost a term of kinship and endearment.
Yeah.
People go, sup, cunt. That's now like, hey, mate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So like,
cunt was like a word of worship for a woman's pussy.
Totally. It was also a term in sailing, which a notch in the wood that the rope slips into.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it cunt?
But people want to just attach to a story so they can define themselves off that story to have like a bigoted view. Yeah. And then carbosh someone else and be like, you're bad. It's like, why can't this mean something to someone else?
Yeah, and it's just a word. It's just a word.
It's the same thing. Do I want to define myself off something like that word? No. But it's a very important word to people. I appreciate its history. I appreciate its lineage. The way I was using it was not in that sense. And also, I'm not sold. I found out they kind of wanted to use it more for like just marketing. It's like cunning folly. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not cool with that. So the book's there, but I'll get back to it at some stage. Okay. The editor read it, and she sounded like a very young girl. She read it, and the book was written for dudes by a dude in a very like
dude way.
Yes. Yeah.
So the editor came back with a lot of red marks.
I think it was just like probably on the first page it was just stonewalled. And then I was coming up with the solutions. I'm like, I feel like I'm doing your job, and actually I've never read.
And I'm going to pay you how many grand?
Yeah, so it was. I would like at some point maybe. I just want to work with people. I fucking love working with people. We're going to run wild weekends.
Yes.
So providing, like, come down to the bush, we'll have some land, and we're going to build a jungle gym. We're going to sit in circles.
Is this for men and women or just men?
No, this will be men and women. Wild
Okay.
weekends.
Yeah, okay.
Towards the end of the year, we're going to start running with Stu Bolger
Yeah.
and Holly and like that
Bulge.
crew. Yeah,
I'm looking forward
What a sick Bulger. And he's just
to meeting
man,
Bulge.
He jumped my face on my profile. I'll put it on my Wild Man Modern World. But, like,
Okay.
he's just a hell of a dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cool.
Yeah.
So we got a good balance there, Stu, Bulger, and I.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But Wild Weekends, it's going to be come down, real connection. Not real connection, just a different version of connection. I don't, like, you know, someone once hit me up in the pub, like, you're in the pub, you're drinking, but you're spiritual.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, Jesus gave them wine. I was like, it's so close. It's like, yeah, I think you misunderstood what I try and communicate. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yes.
Just
do you.
For me, it's just, just do you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, wild weekends, we want to run them, and it will be come down, we'll build a jungle gym, we'll do hunting skills, survival skills, real communication, maybe even do some hippie shit, like, and then we'll sit down and have a big feed around the fire together, maybe have a couple of beers, like not try and get rid of this dogma around evolution, around spiritual being something. So that spiritual is us, like we are literally embodiment of, we're the embodiment of spirit, we're that one little drop of it. It's like just being me is totally enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
So, do you want to tell people how they can get in contact with you? And I guess, talk if you want a little bit more about your 8-week course.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So my handle on social media is Wildman Modern World on Instagram and Facebook. I have a blog running called it's on ryanbarraclough.com. You can find that through my socials, and that's lessons learned through love, sex, drugs, and yoga.
Nice.
I'm just very happy with that. And then I'm launching in June an 8-week online course for, it's for men. It's an approach of intimacy, so learning to fuck lovingly.
Yeah, nice.
So how can we break down, and it's the real sex education that none of us got. So it's the ability, it's going to building confidence, like help men be confident with women, help men have mastered their sexual energy so they can ride the orgasm, they don't just lose their load. Like all of those things, actually know the anatomy of a woman's pussy.
Yes.
Yeah, understand the different types of orgasm. Know these things, so like, fuck, we want to feel useful, why don't we just upskill ourselves so we can be useful?
Yeah. And can I, to that point, can I just say, like, so I connected with a sex shop manager, and we're walking around the sex shop, and I was blown away at how different sex toys look now compared to, years and years and years ago when I went in there to buy, like, sex toys. And we're going around to, I guess, the man section, and he said to me that there's lots of men that come in here who you can buy these rubber pussies now who actually are molds of porn stars. And he said that a lot of men come in here and just buy them because they're like, it's easier. I'm like, wow.
That's the same thing. That's the subtle art of not giving a fuck right there.
Yeah.
One less, just go buy a fucking rubber pussy.
Yeah, that just like broke my heart. Yes, yeah.
It's so
like there's so much missing.
Oh, it's so enthralling being out in like the modern day, like the modern day hunt, being out of the pub, like like that, like.
You don't hunt online like everyone else.
I tried it for the first time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What were you on? Tinder,
Bumble.
Oh.
Yeah.
Download all the things.
Yeah, I got broke up with, so I downloaded. Mature response.
Yes. After everything we've just spoken about.
And that's it. Like living in that as well is totally the same. It's like, no, I'm gonna be a fucking little brat right now.
Yeah. Own it.
I'll be honest and communicate what I'm doing. But yeah, I downloaded it. It was, it's not my vibe. I just love that.
Yeah.
That thrill of being scared to walk up to someone.
Yes.
And like having to sit in that and then burn up in that and then actually do it, or have to live with myself and not doing it.
Yeah.
What could it be?
Yeah.
That was the one.
What witty line am I going to say?
Yeah, I'll never do witty line.
No, you haven't got any like pearlers in your pocket?
I just say I'm right.
Like, that works.
Yeah. Probably default to my sweet dance move. I don't know. Like, now I know myself a lot better, it's a lot easier to read someone. Like if they're not a vibe, like
you feel their energy, right?
Yeah, just bring a bit of light, bring a bit of humour. It's people
just say hello.
People want to feel safe. They want to feel accepted. People want to.
Yeah.
It's not hard to relate to someone that I don't have. I try not to have any like really like preconceived like I'm gonna fuck this girl tonight. Like I try and really drop any of that. But yeah, because women have like spidey senses and they can feel neediness, they can feel neediness. Because what's underneath that is like I'm craving fucking connection.
Yeah.
And I've put it all in the box of sex.
Yes.
And actually, maybe a conversation, just having a conversation and being heard and hearing someone might be like super satisfying in that mind. You know? Tick all those things. Or why do I feel like I need sex? Does that make me more man? Does that like then the boys will know?
Yeah,
and
so
then
I can talk to the boys about it.
Oh, I have an issue with how the boys see me.
Yeah, I think that's massive. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's the thing, like with dating and stuff like that. I mean, we get like, well, people can get so nervous before going on a first date or nervous before walking up in front of someone, but it's like they're just human. You know, and even I remember in the corporate world, I would look at the execs and be like, oh my God, I'm so nervous to actually approach them. But I'm like, they're just human. They've got fears, they've got their own issues, like, you know, and before going on a date, it's like really dumbing it down. And I use that word very lightly, but, you know, just start the conversation like you're speaking to a friend. Like, hey, how you going?
Yeah, totally. I name it. I'm like, yo, I feel so awkward right now. How are you feeling?
Good.
Like, I was like, oh, fuck it. Like, this is how, like, I'm actually going to show up. Hey, I feel fucking awkward and nervous. Like, how's this day going for you? Is this going all right? Like, because then it's fun.
Do we need to talk about it?
Yeah, like, are you enjoying this? Should we leave right now or should we keep going? Like just like, hey, I just want to do a little check-in. It's so fun.
Yes.
Like, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's so fun being human.
Yes, yeah.
And allowing other people to show up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what does it need to be super? Not, you know, it's not superhuman. Like being human is super. You know, we don't need to be superhumans. Like just being human is super, and all the attributes of that are like, oh, fucking awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
And so yeah, 8-week online course.
Oh yeah, yes.
Wise Men's Gathering. We've got a no bullshit men's gathering coming up down near Broadwood in Canberra.
I saw that. Yep.
10th to 12th of May. That one we'll have one at the end of August in Wiseman's Ferry. That'll be a men's gathering. We'll do some cold water therapy, some fire sits, and
cool.
Yeah, we do bush sits, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring someone wrestling into some BJJ.
Oh my God, do.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, because like in terms of archetypal.
Yeah, we do archetypes.
Yeah.
Stu, my mate, has a version of archetypes, and I have like the yogic practices to balance each archetype, balance each energy center. And then, one-on-one coaching with me. So, man, masculinity mentoring. That's like my favorite job in the whole world. And from that, I've got this online course coming out because there's only so many people I can work with at one time. Yeah. And I feel like the information that I'm putting, the experience in this course is actually like should be baseline for every man. It's like a pen license to use your dick. Yeah. It's like we need some real we need some baseline education. I definitely did, and from my experience now working with a lot of men, it's like, oh shit, we all do. Yes. Okay, let's put it out there. Yeah. I've got a real life woman. She comes on there and she teaches us stuff.
She's not a toy. She's not a blow up.
She's great. And then, that'd be great. 8 weeks. One-on-one coaching at the start and the end, and then teaching every week on top of the digital content they'll receive, workbook they'll receive, and then I'll also be doing a Q&A each week with them online. Yeah, amazing. And then a community. Yes. And events, retreats. I do one-on-one private retreats at the moment. Yeah, great. Great. Sounds amazing. Wild Man, Modern World. I'm very, Wild Man, Modern World. Yeah. Amazing. You're doing really great things. Thanks, man. You too. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Oh, my pleasure. I could talk for fucking hours. I know. I could just do I was like, what else are we going to talk about? Like, don't get near that button. Like, I would just I don't have to do much. I'm just warming up now. Yeah, I've still got an hour and a half to like the baby. We're like, oh, okay, we're just settling in. Well, we could talk about many different things. We don't have to. No, that's okay. I'll probably get you in maybe another time. Happy to. Yeah, and we can talk more. Sweet. Definitely. Thank you so much for coming in. Loved it. And so that is it for Under the Covers, episode number 4. And I'll be back next week for another episode. Thank you. Thank you.